What to do, YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the third 50 Cent album, and this album came out in 2007. It's called Curtis. Now, basically, Curtis was the album that signified supposedly 50 Cent's downfall from his iron grip on the industry. And it basically was pretty heralded in a sense because 50 Cent was touted to go against Kanye West the same day and see who was the better artist or the better selling artist. And it was a big thing in 2007. Most people thought that 50 Cent was going to top Kanye West, but he wound up not. I mean, Kanye wound up selling almost a million copies in the first week, kind of like Lil Wayne did with the Carter 3. But 50 Cent sold 700,000, and for some reason, people thought that that was paltry. Now, honestly, Curtis did pretty excellent considering the fact that Get Rich or Die Tryin' sold only 800,000 copies when it came out in 2003. I really don't feel like this album did terrible. I really don't feel like it had crap sales and it just did not do well in terms of 50 Cent's normal. Now, the only thing I will say is that The Massacre did sell a million in its first week. If you didn't know that, like 50 Cent's second album, The Massacre, sold like over a million copies in 4 days. So he was pretty popular at that point, but he just kind of went back to Get Rich or Die Trying territory, just like a mild bit worse. And I would have to say, out of 50 Cent's four albums, to me, this is his second best. I feel like I liked The Massacre, but it was kind of more commercial, and the singles were not quite as edgy as Get Rich or Die Trying. It just didn't seem to quite have the songwriting. I mean, maybe it did, but I'll get to that review when we get to it. But this album takes it back to the grittiness of Get Rich or Die Trying, and it is packed to the gills filled with club hits. So this 50 Cent listened to both angles where they said, hey, we want the gritty ghetto 50 Cent from Get Rich and the G Unit days, but then we also want the club bops that you did on Get Rich or Die Trying, like If I Can't and PIMP. So 50 Cent paid attention to what people complained about. So that's another reason. I really just think that this album is kind of overshadowed by losing the sales battle with Kanye West, just because it is a great album. To me, this album is going to get a very high score. I think I would like to kind of resuscitate some of the attitude towards this because it did go platinum, maybe double platinum, but I just don't understand why so many people hate this project in terms of the after effects of it, because it's not bad at all. It had multiple singles. 50 Cent just simply didn't have any number ones. Maybe it didn't have like a Candy Shop or a 21 Questions or something like that, but it does have just about everything else. It just doesn't have like a number one song. Truthfully, I felt like I Get Money should have hit number one because that was a pretty damn good hit, and it's pretty inescapable and ubiquitous, but it didn't wind up doing that. I mean, this album leaked for one thing, and it kind of screwed with it in terms of being able to say that it was supposed to, how the stuff was supposed to come out as it did. So I think that kind of affected it too. I bet you if this album had not leaked, it probably would have sold pretty close to a million in the first week. So keep that in mind. This album leaked to the internet before it even came out. And it kind of pissed 50 Cent off because some of the singles leaked and it kind of botched like the promotion for it. So that's another reason. So maybe he would have outsold Kanye if this album hadn't leaked. But I also want to talk about like the reason why this album is called Curtis, because 50 Cent, I don't know how many of you folks know about this, but he got into a beef with Cameron, and one of the things that Cameron did to get at 50 Cent was he started making fun of his name Curtis. And so 50 Cent said, Curtis is my name. I'm going to name my album this just to prove that that was stupid, that you're insulting me because my name is Curtis. If you don't know where the name Curtis came from and why he named it that, it's because he got into a beef with Cameron. Cameron was making a lot of noise in like early 2007. He was going to drop an album, and then he just completely fell off the map and took a couple years off. I think he was taking care of his mom, but he just vanished, and before he did, he was insulting 50 Cent a bunch. That's where that came from. But so the singles on this project, there were a number of them. Wikipedia says that Amusement Park came before Straight to the Bank, but Straight to the Bank came out first. So I like Straight to the Bank. Straight to the Bank is really kind of a slinky, kind of campy kind of single. I really like the kind of campy kind of feel towards the production and stuff. It's pretty slinky 50 Cent song. It just feels like he's kind of being a smart aleck in the song, which I like. It's really kind of a kind of campy and kind of snarky kind of song, but it's pretty cool. I mean, it's just more kind of campy than I would have expected from 50 Cent. Just a lot different from his club approach off the bat with like Disco Inferno and In the Club and some of those moments. It's just not, it is a club song, and I do kind of feel that way, but it's just the bravado behind it is a lot more mellow and kind of more like relaxed this time around. So it just doesn't have like the rave energy of "I Get Money," which is a later single. So it's, I mean, if you are just wanting 50 Cent, but you don't want it kind of in your face and this like all kind of like bravado induced and kind of more this thug posturing and that type of stuff. I mean, I do feel like Straight to the Bank is a pretty cool and collected kind of song. But the second single is Amusement Park, and I didn't like this song. I mean, this song was kind of the reason why I think a lot of people didn't like Curtis, just because it just was not as good. 50 Cent was trying to bring back the candy shop kind of vibes, but it just didn't quite work as well. The hook is pretty bad. Um, just trying to say that like his body is the amusement park and that type of stuff. Your body for the woman is the amusement park, but um, I don't know. It felt kind of woozy and just not in a good way. It just was, I don't know. It just didn't feel very energized. It was kind of like 50 Cent was kind of sleepwalking through this. I know he could have probably had a better song for the ladies, and he did with AO Technology. That was the better song for the ladies. I mean, normally 50 Cent with songs like the song he like just a little bit and PIMP and 21 questions. Normally 50 Cent nails these songs for ladies, but this one just kind of felt lazy and kind of half baked. This didn't really come off as that stylish like a song. It just was not a good metaphor in terms of for the ladies and stuff. I mean, it is somewhat clever, but not in the concept of like a full blown song. I would say maybe like a verse in this, a line in a verse or something, but um I Get Money was the third single, and this was probably one of the best 50 Cent songs. Like Jackal Goldkick kind of thinks that this was like one of 50 Cent's last great songs, but this is definitely like an excellent song. This is the song that 50 Cent needed to kick off the album. This is the 50 Cent from 2003. This is 21 Questions 50 Cent. This is In the Club 50 Cent. This is Disco Inferno 50 Cent, Candy Shop 50 Cent. This is the single that 50 Cent needed right off the bat, because he started promoting this album in like the spring of 2007. It said that he started in the summer, but it was kind of April, May-ish, that type of stuff. So that's when the rollout kicked off. But this is a great song, excellent hook, ferocious beat, this instant kind of club hit that just feels like you're just living at the club. Can be at casinos, could be at like dance clubs, nightclubs, raves. It's just an instant kind of party starter and just gets you energized. This one is really energetic kind of song that just works extremely well. Definitely don't have a problem with it. AO Technology is the fourth single, and this one is pretty stylish just because it has Justin Timberlake and Timbaland on here from their charting appeal at that time. I really like the beat on AO Technology. It's really kind of electronic and chirpish, and I kind of liked how that worked. It just is very stylish for 50 Cent. He hasn't done a lot of beats like this. I was attracted to it. It really kind of gives off a good vibe. The hook is pretty awesome. Justin Timberlake does a great job on there. I mean, I'm very glad that 50 Cent messed with Justin Timberlake around this time and hit him up while he was in his prime, because it just was very stylish. This is actually the highest charting single off this album. I think it hit like number 5 on the Billboard 100. This song really doesn't get talked about enough. I kind of think that that's like the thing. It just, when you think of 50 Cent from those times, 2007, 2008, I mean, it's just not every day that people talk about AO Technology, but it's a great single for the ladies, strip club anthem, that type of stuff. This works as an extremely good club bop. And I feel like Straight to the Bank, I Get Money, AO Technology all kind of do that well. So I guarantee it's a pretty affable song that just has a lot of energy that I think you'll like. So I'll Still Kill is the fifth single, and this is the song that kind of ended the promotion for Curtis. I was surprised about this song being released as a single. I mean, I see it now, but I kind of thought that the topic being "I'll still kill," which is just kind of saying I'll still kill you off if you fuck with me wrong, and Akon being on the song was a nice touch, but it's just surprising because I mean, it works. It's just kind of an edgy kind of club song. I mean, it when you listen to the song, it's very much like a night venue and a stepping out kind of song. It's just kind of in a gangsta kind of way, and that's just all it is. I mean, AO Technology, I Get Money, we're not quite as thuggish, but I'll Still Kill is kind of like 50 Cent, where people said, "Hey, you're getting too soft, you're getting too mainstream." 50 Cent said, "Fuck it, no, I'm not," and so this is what he did. I mean, it didn't chart that high, but I was baffled by this song's popularity on Spotify. This actually has like 66 million plays, which this is like the third, or actually, I want to say even like the second or first most popular song on here. Like, the only song that's more popular than I'll Still Kill in terms of Spotify plays for this album is just AO Technology. I just was not expecting that kind of popularity considering that the song charted as badly, but it is a great song. Akon did a great job on the hook. That's another good person that 50 Cent roped in and had getting his prime. And it's just like I said, it's a club song. It's intended for a night venue, that type of stuff. This works in like an edgy sense, where if you want a club song that's not, you know, like you want a club song that's not too buttery and too like soft and popish and kind of butterflies and stuff, I would say that yeah, this is a good song for that angle. So it's just an edgy kind of night venue songs. That's pretty dope. So yeah, this album is packed to the gills with hits. I really feel like it does maintain its edge. I feel like songs like Man Down, which is censored even if you buy the explicit version, My Gun Go Off, Fully Loaded Clip, Curtis 187, and Touch the Sky all kind of have like the edgy 50 Cent that's just pretty to talk about. If you really missed the 50 Cent Get Rich or Die Trying days, he knew, and he knew that you were thinking that, and he tried to bring that back. So you can't say that 50 Cent wasn't trying to bring back Get Rich or Die Trying, because he was. And some of these actually work pretty well. I feel like Fully Loaded Clip and Touch the Sky with Tony Ayo both kind of work as like a further rendition of like the I'll Still Kill vibes for like kind of edgy club. And I kind of like that 50 Cent did that, where he said, yeah, I want to step out, but I'm not necessarily feeling like all sunshiny and kind of popish like Justin Timberlake and stuff. And Justin Timberlake is not really pop, you know, not to say like that towards him, but just kind of not just all squeaky clean in that sort of sense. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely to the point where trying to talk about some of these kind of edgy songs just has a lot of quality to them. And I definitely kind of feel like that's a good flow. But then there are other songs on here. So 50 Cent maintained having kind of like songs that have edge to them and prove that he hasn't sold out, but also having some songs from the vibes of like the Massacre too, where the main thing that this album is missing is just not having like the number one, number two songs, which I definitely feel like AO Technology and I Get Money could have been. It's just the fact that it, for some reason, people were just tired of 50 Cent between the album leaking, the Kanye West beef kind of boiling over in a bad way, and this people getting tired of G-Unit. I think this is kind of the concept as to why this album just is seen in a negative light, but it definitely shouldn't be. I mean, Eminem, talk about, I'll go ahead and list the songs out of 12 that I or the songs out of 16. So I wound up liking 12 songs out of 16, which should really show you that this album is pretty chock full of quality. So I would have to say the 12 songs I recommend would be I Get Money, Come and Go, AO Technology, Moving On Up, Straight to the Bank, I'll Still Kill, Man Down, Follow My Lead, Fully Loaded Clip, Peep Show, Fire, and Touch the Sky. So that's quite a bit. The only four songs that I didn't recommend would just be My Gun Go Off, uh, Amusement Park, All of Me with Mary J. Blige, and Curtis 187. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some of these. So really, Come and Go with Dr. Dre is a pretty menacing, stepping out night venue kind of song. Like Dr. Dre is barely on it. He doesn't have a verse on here. He just says kick him out and that type of stuff. He's just on the chorus, but it still is. I mean, the beat is blisteringly good. Like Dr. Dre definitely should have given this project a few more beats. I mean, if you didn't know, Dr. Dre produced like 2 or 3 beats on here. I guess he helped with Straight to the Bank, and he also did Fire. So Dr. Dre did produce for this, which is pretty awesome. he was kind of aloof in 2007, but he did produce for this. Definite Dr. Dre beat, so that should tell you that this is good to definitely come mess with this song. Easy, kind of spooky and just exhilaratingly nightmarish kind of club song. Um, I feel like Man Down. I like the kind of piano production on Man Down. I would definitely have to say, um, like this one just felt kind of fancy, kind of similar to the Beg for Mercy vibes. I definitely like that kind of aspect about it. I liked Fully Loaded Clip. Like I said, these night venue kind of songs that are kind of more edgy and kind of have that kind of particular kind of these night venue songs that kind of have that gangsta edge to them and are not popish and that sort of thing. I definitely feel like that's pretty awesome. And Fire is a club bop. I mean, this has Young Buck and Nicole Scherzinger on here from Pussycat Dolls. That's a nice one. That one's a pretty ready to go stepping out type moment. There's just a lot of moments for stepping out. Peep Show is a nice strip club song with Eminem. Like Eminem did great on this song. I mean, his flow is just airtight. Definitely meant to be on the song. 50 Cent was really kind of taunting and exuberant on the song also. It's just a real kind of creeping and just glittery kind of ghoulish kind of song. Eminem probably would have stolen the show had it not been for the very end where he talks about wanting to shit on his girl in the song, and if some pee comes out, just guzzle it down. I mean, mine is that Eminem up to like the last 2 or 3 lines that he says on the song just completely emphasize a real kind of hypnotic. This it was just a great flow that he had on there, and he just tore the song apart minus the last bit. And Touch the Sky with Tony Ayo is a nice one. Moving on Up has a real menacing club beat. This probably has one of the best beats on the album apart from Come and Go and Fire. I was surprised that Dr. Dre didn't produce this one because of how good it is. 50 Cent just kind of gives like a pretty kind of mellow and just maybe not mellow, but just kind of good album cut. And it's like, hey, this is how you know that Curtis is good. This is kind of like maybe not as hit potential as like Many Men or High All the Time, but definitely a good song and a good look for 50 Cent if you want to say that this album isn't good. This real kind of ravaging beat. Yeah, real kind of ravaging beat. Definitely one of the best on here. There are some other moments like Follow My Lead, which is a pretty smooth song for the ladies. It's too bad that Robin Hook didn't do the hook. Or it's too bad that Robin Thicke didn't do the hook. I mean, he had like a really short and kind of soothing kind of first verse, but it was surprising because it was actually 50 Cent. It's odd for someone to get an R&B singer and not have them do the hook, but that was kind of the concept about it. It's a pretty nice one. I mean, once again, for some reason, the ladies' tracks on this album are not quite as like emphatic as they are like normally from 50 Cent. When you think of songs like Candy Shop and Just a Little Bit, Best Friend off the Get Rich or Die Trying soundtrack, I mean, a lot of those just had a lot more punch to it. But I feel like AO Technology is probably the best of the bunch for the ladies. I mean, I feel like 50 Cent definitely got his grittiness back, but for some reason these songs that are intended for females are kind of not as like fully loaded as they probably should be. But it is a pretty solid. It's definitely a B song. I definitely would give it a B in that type of stuff. So that's pretty good. And yeah, there's just a number of hits on here. Like I really like the piano kind of key arrangement on Man Down. It really kind of feels fancy and sophisticated, similar to their Beg for Mercy days. I really like the vibe on Fully Loaded Clip. That's a nice kind of like gangsta, kind of thuggish club song and that type of stuff. So there's just a number of ones on here that really have a lot of emphasis. So me liking 12 songs out of 16, I'm gonna give this album a 9 out of 10, like a 9.25 probably. I feel like a 9.25 out of 10 is really good. I don't even know if I gave Get Rich or Die Trying on that. There was just a lot of songs on here that kind of connected with me and a lot of emphasis. A lot of songs on here that connected with me, a lot of emphasis and that type of stuff. So there's just a lot of overall great moments. And the singles were pretty outstanding for the most part, minus Amusement Park. So this is one of 50 Cent's best projects. I don't know what people are talking about when they say that this is a lousy one. I mean, to me, it's as good, if not better, than Kanye's Graduation. I really don't understand. I think the only reason why I didn't outsell Graduation is just because this album leaked, if I had to guess. So yeah, it's just got tons of club cuts, tons of thuggish club cuts. Got some real good kind of edgy songs. Got some nice guests on here: Eminem, Nicole Scherzinger, Mary J. Blige, Robin Thicke, Justin Timberlake, and Timbaland, Akon, Dr. Dre in a minor sense. Plenty of stuff to really get excited about. There's just a lot of overall great moments, and it's just an excellent album, I would have to say. I definitely do not think 50 Cent lost his footing with this album at all. This is really excellent. And the social score, I will give a 10. I'm going to give this album a 10 social score just because it's just chock full of hits, chock full of socialize, plenty of moments for stepping out. 50 Cent doesn't sound worn out or out of place doing these songs. He's just completely comfortable, and all these songs really have a nice edge to them and nice kind of outgoingness, and he's not a square. I mean, that's the thing. He's not someone who just wanted to be aloof on this project and lonely. He actually does have some good times. This really happens to be a thing. So that's just kind of the situation. In terms of the future, I would have to say that 50 Cent has taken a break since about 2015, at least from dropping projects, but he said he's flirted with the idea of kind of coming back. We'll see what happens with it, but this is another hit for 50 Cent, and definitely don't listen to popular opinion that this album is trash, because it isn't.